Welcome back, everybody. Happy Sunday to you from us. We're going to kind of jump right in. We're going to talk about goals. Goals. How do you feel about goals, Ms. Stutson?
They're necessary. When you look at it on a individual, when you look at yourself as couples, and even as families, for the ones that have kids, you guys have to set goals so that you know the purpose that you have. Most people normally do it at the beginning of the year, your New Year's resolutions, and they kind of check in throughout the year on individuals. But like we said, it's important to do it as couples and as a marriage as well.
Yeah, because even at your job, you set goals. When you have your reviews, most of your boss say, hey, give me 3 goals you have for this year, what do you want to improve on, or you want to be promoted, whatever it may be. So I feel like you should have that same approach when it comes to your marriage, because you shouldn't let your boss tell you you need to improve on things, but won't allow your spouse to tell you some things you need to improve on or work on as well. So always take that in consideration. So we really got 2 points on why you need to set goals. And the first one is it helps the relationship grow and move forward. I think that's something you got to always continually remember. When you do reach those goals, you have to continue to set more goals and continue to grow and move forward instead of being stagnant and being stuck in a position. I know sometimes life happens and you kind of just like, I've been stuck in this same season for feel like whatever. Did you set a new goal that year or did you not? And I think that applies in your marriage as well as individually as well. If you're gonna kind of hit on.
Yeah, every marriage has a purpose. And so it's like, okay, well, what are you doing? What are you doing to achieve the purpose that God has for you? Are you reading marriage books? Are you attending, different marriage functions and conferences? Or are you even are you being poured into from a marriage, and are you pouring into somebody else's? There should be no reason that you should be stagnant.
And I think that's a good point you made, because I feel like if you set goals, I feel like your closest circle should know your goals as well to kind of hold you accountable. Because in a marriage, you both gonna have times where you struggle with certain things, but if she has her godly sisters who kind of know what we want to do this year, she'll shoot a message, hey, how y'all looking on going to a marriage conference? How y'all looking at reading that book? Just holding her accountable, because sometimes if it comes from the spouse, it's kind of like, why didn't you this? Why didn't you do that? It kind of comes off a little differently.
It does.
But, you have your friend who's there for you, wants your marriage to grow and prosper as well. I feel like it's important when you are setting goals to let other people know your goals as well.
Right. Absolutely.
And then the next one is there's always room for improvement. Always. Always room for improvement. Like, you can always be better. No matter how awesome of a husband that I know that I am, I can always do better. And that's ultimately what it boils down to. And I kind of bragged, I'm a great husband, which I have a lot of stuff I can work on. As far as my tone, my delivery sometimes a little harsh. But there's just certain things I know that I can work on, because it can't just be, well, I'm a provider. I provide for my wife. I can talk to her if I want to. That's not okay. So I feel like Pastor made a comment about that today, is like people walk around bragging about, well, I don't cheat on my spouse. So they think they're like a great husband, but that's not what it all entails. You should be lifting your spouse up, encouraging her, suffering for her, dying daily for her, whatever it may take, so that your spouse is good.
Agreed. And like on the flip side of that, ladies, you're like, I don't cheat on them, but you talk crazy about them to your friends, to your family, or you mumbling underneath your breath, or you're extremely disrespectful. But but I cook and I clean up the house. Like, is that really all that you're bringing to the table? So I do this with Marcus often. I'm like, what can I do better? Like, what is it that you see I'm not doing that I need to do? As far as a wife, as far as like just me, like we talk, like me on the business side of my professional life, I talk with Marcus about that too. And he shows me what I don't see.
Yep. And I think once you hit those goals, you got to continue to set new goals, and you'll see a change in your marriage as well, because you're able to open that line of communication. You're able to push your spouse maybe farther than she ever expected, because ultimately, like, I didn't picture myself being here. Hey, you told me 5 years ago I would be in Texas doing what we're doing, all the things going on, being a deacon, everything. But having the spouse there to be able to push you to your goals and push you to your full potential, it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing to see, an amazing thing to witness. So I feel like I want to say thank you, because you pushed me to new heights. And I never said that publicly. So I just want to say thank you.
I'm gonna cry.
Because Valentine's Day, never.
Really? He always does that. He'll ruin it. Anyways, people, okay. So full circle, we are doing, growth and importance. Set your goals individually, collectively, and let God do what he needs to do with your marriage. We love you so much, and we'll see you next week. Peace out.